All right. Good morning, Facebook Live. How you doing? Hey, really quick, it says stop because I actually want you to stop. Ryan Otteson, Otteson and Company, and my man Cole Strange, the VA.guru.
Nice.
Right, so they can visit you at the VA.guru. Yeah.
Yep,
okay.
That's right.
So Churchill Mortgage behind us. I appreciate that. Fun fact about this actual room, Cole, that we're sitting in at Churchill Mortgage. Fun fact: the very first time I was ever on the radio, Ron Siegel, this room, did an interview about how to house homeless veterans on Veterans Day, probably 4 years ago.
Welcome back.
Thank you, man. I sat there. Ron was sitting where we're at now. Oh, how things have changed, I guess. I love technology. So today, down payment assistance programs. Listen, it's a real deal. We got together. Cole and I are about to make some calls to our databases, call to some leads, try to set some appointments. I need to sell some houses. Cole needs to do some loans. Interestingly enough, you know that Otteson and Company is a property management company, and we lose tenants oftentimes because listen, it's a great time to buy a home. How low are rates right now?
They're pretty low, depending on your circumstances.
Average rate?
Average rate, you're going to be somewhere around 4.
And he told me not. I cut him off because he told me not to ask him those questions because he can get in trouble.
Right.
That's why I cut him off.
Yeah.
But if he's going to average you 4 or 5, it's free money. You got to buy a house right now.
Yeah.
So
done as low as low 3s and then as high as mid 5s.
But you got to be like Superman to get the low 3.
Sure.
Yeah? Okay, fair. Decent. So a couple of things that I honestly struggle with, right? Because I got a VA loan, so I don't worry about VA or down payment assistance programs. But people ask us all the time, hey, what are down payment assistance programs? How do they operate? And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really know the answer to that question. And so, you want me to lie? I mean, listen, I can BS. I give you a really good answer. But look, if I tell you that that's right, with inventory low and prices are still high, let me tell you what that means. And then I'm going to have Cole jump into this really quick. So when I say that prices are still high, look, everybody thought it was a buyer's market. Everybody thought we were going into recession. Everyone's like, Mayday, Mayday, we're all going to die, right? Fun fact for you. I pulled up the entire MLS, Glendora, San Dimas, and Azusa. In those 3 cities, there's been an increase. Now, Azusa's only up 1.3% year over year, January to January. San Dimas is up 1.6%. Glendora is up 4.7%. So prices are up, right? Median sales price in Glendora, $630. It's phenomenal. We talk about, is it a buyer's market, a seller's market? If we're being frank, it's a landlord's market. But we talk about months supply of inventory. Anything really 4 months or below, we can get hypercritical and say 3 months or below is a seller's market. That's a whole nother Facebook Live I'll probably do next week because it's a great time to sell your house. However, all 3 cities seller's market. Entire MLS is 2.1 months supply. Glendora is at 2. San Dimas is at 1.3. If you live in San Dimas, call me. I'll sell your house right now. Azusa, 2.3. It's phenomenal. So this isn't me just blowing stuff up. These are actual statistics that say it really is a great time to sell your house. And rates are low. It's a great time to buy a house. If you're going to wait for the market to drop and you're going to save 50 or 60 grand on a house, but you throw your interest rate up to 6 or 7%, you're paying more for the same house, even though you saved 60 grand. Financing's terrible that way. So, Cole, first question.
Yeah.
Are down payment assistance programs real? Do they actually exist?
They do exist. And I think what a lot of people think is they're getting home from work, long day, driving down the freeway off ramp, and they see the sign, buy a house for $1,500. And it's, some really cheap marketing that some people do that doesn't give the full context of what's being actually advertised. But more often than not, that's what that sign is advertising. I don't particularly think that that's the best way to market something like that.
Yeah.
Because it attracts a certain type of person that thinks that they just need $1,500 and they can buy a house. There's pros and cons that somebody like that should take into consideration before utilizing that program. But to answer your question, yes, the down payment assistance programs do exist. People have bought homes for little money. And then our job, or at least my job as a loan officer, is to educate the client so that they know exactly what they're getting into.
Perfect. So real quick, Diana, I see your question in here. What has San Bernardino Market been up to? It's crazy out there. We just moved 11 houses in the last 5 months in San Bernardino. I'll get you a little market report and I'll send it off to you. So I just want to
love San Bernardino.
I love San Bernardino. Martin, how you doing? Carla, good to see you. Diana, expect to send an email from me. So they do exist.
Yeah.
Question number 2 we get all the time. How do they work? Give me the 40,000 foot. We can do a deeper dive if we need to.
Right.
But for the sake of time, how does a down payment assistance program work?
So because there's different programs, most of them work in somewhat similar fashions. The big differences are going to be a grant program versus a silent second or third mortgage. I'm a bigger fan of the Cal HFA program. It stands for California Housing Finance Agency. They provide a second, or in some cases, a silent second on the mortgage. I like those programs because they provide more assistance to the borrower.
When you say silent, what do you mean? Because I don't know what that word means.
Yep, for sure. So what happens is you buy a house, and let's say it's for $500,000, and you're going to put 3% down on that house.
Okay.
It's $15,000. What the silent second and third does is, rather than you, the borrower, coming in and making that down payment for yourself, the California Housing Finance Agency has those second and third silent seconds and thirds that come in and provide that down payment on your behalf. And in some cases, they'll also cover most of the closing costs as well. So what happens is, and this is one of the reasons why I think that these programs get marketed poorly, is people will think, oh, cool, it's free money.
Yeah.
You know, I put $1,500 in. What happens is that $15,000 that was the down payment, Cal HFA comes in, provides the second mortgage that's silent. And what silent means is there's no payment that needs to be made on it.
Okay.
You can, and I quite frankly recommend it, but there's a second lien that's put on the property. And then if you want the most aggressive type of down payment assistance programs, they'll actually come in with a third mortgage and also cover most of the closing costs for you on your behalf, which is why the people say, hey, you see that sign, buy a house for $1,500. That's what they're talking about, is they're offering the most aggressive type of down payment assistance financing. Now, if you've got some money, I always tell people, if you have funds available, you should use them, you know, as long as it doesn't deplete all of your assets.
Yeah.
Because what people don't like to talk about is that these programs, particularly the most aggressive ones, come with higher interest rates than one without the assistance. So if this is the way that we get you into a home, it's always better to be into a home so that you can build up equity in your house and you're not putting money towards rent. But somebody shouldn't just be thrown into a down payment assistance program for the sake of it, because it makes it easy to market and get somebody to give you a call.
Sure. So in my world, I say you get price for terms, you don't get both.
Yeah.
Your world, it's the same thing. Price, though, would be interest.
Right.
Okay. Perfect. So the next question we had up there is, am I eligible? The one after that is, what's my next step? Because I think the eligibility question is, am I eligible?
Sure.
And they give you, I have no money, and my FICO's garbage, or I don't know what my FICO was, which is why I said, what's my next step?
Right.
So are they eligible?
Sure.
How do they find out? And what should their next step be, even though our phone numbers are right there?
Yeah, definitely. So as far as eligibility goes, you know, there's a handbook that's, you know, probably this thick for these programs, but I can give some of the basics on it. Doesn't necessarily mean that the person's going to be qualified. I have to be careful with that kind of stuff. So this really doesn't mean, I got it. Yeah. This doesn't necessarily mean that you would be qualified if you meet all of these guidelines that I'm going to put out, but it does mean that you could be. So you could give us a call. So as far as income goes, you know, income requirements are around $130,000. Okay. That's combined income.
Okay. So you're saying 130 or less?
Correct. Okay. Yeah. So as long as you make less, it's 130 and change, whatever, but $130,000 more or less. And then credit score requirements, 640 credit score or above. By the way, this is all for the California Housing Finance Agency. There's a million different down payment assistance programs, some with no income limits, but they're not as aggressive, some with no credit score requirements, also not as aggressive, or even worse terms sometimes. But for California Housing Finance Agency, 130 income-ish, a 640 credit score. You're also going to be limited as far as how much of a home you can borrow. So I'll just throw this number out. Your debt to income ratio, which is just the overall percentage of debt reflected as a percentage of your income. Whereas on an FHA loan, you might be able to go up to 57% of your gross income. Okay. A California Housing Finance Agency loan limits you to 45%. So sometimes people will come across, hey, I can't quite afford the home that I want. Should I look at down payment assistance? It actually works in the opposite manner that most people would think, because you are limited as far as the percentage of your income that you can borrow. So If you've got around a 640, we can even work with credit from time to time if you're not quite there. If you're earning around $130,000, because the way that we count the income is a little bit different, it's not necessarily exactly what's showing on those tax returns, and you're motivated and interested in buying a house, your next step would be giving us a call.
So where it says, am I eligible? It's a question mark because it's a question, but the reality is it's really a question mark, right? Depending on who you are, your circumstances, and all that. So really, the "am I eligible" question, that's sort of the hook, right? We don't know. We got to call. You got to take the next step. If you're interested in purchasing a home, I'm telling you, it's a great. I wouldn't lie to you. I don't know how to. There's a movie, Jerry Maguire, where he says, "I lost the ability to bullshit." I have lost the ability to bullshit. It's a great time to buy a house. If you're interested in buying a house, you need down payment assistance. Listen, I know that he's about to get on the phone and make calls. I'm about to get on the phone and make some calls as well. So if you dial one of those two numbers below, 626-255-5415 for Cole, or you dial me at 626-727-8178. If we don't answer, it's because we're talking to somebody else, but we'll call you right back. That's what we're doing here today.
This is supposed to be 5 minutes. We went 11.
We went 11. Well, you had a lot
no
of good,
surprise.
You had a lot of good information.
Yeah.
Diana, expect that in your email on San Bernardino. Everyone else, I'm still figuring this out. There's a bunch of questions and comments coming in right now, so I will get back to you. I apologize for that. Cole, as always, thank you. If anybody on here said, hey, they need more information, then what we'll do is, Ken, what's up, Ken? I owe you a name. And Sylvie, good to see you. Alfie, that's twice in the week, man. I'm starting to feel blessed right now. What we'll do is we will do another deeper dive into maybe qualifications, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Sounds good.
Okay. Appreciate you guys. Have a great, it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Have a great Wednesday. See you guys later.
Bye.